Hi everybody, Natasha Koch here with the Van City Home Team. We're going to talk about buying a condo. So it's kind of funny because once upon a time I sold only properties that were single family homes, and that was well before condos were so popular and in an area where single family homes were a lot more affordable. But now we see that many people are making their first purchases into condominium buildings. So we're going to talk about some of the questions that you should ask before buying a condo. So number one thing that you should be checking into when and if you find one that you like is what are other people that are living in the building talking about. So every condominium complex have strata meetings, and you can ask your realtor to provide you with a copy of the last 2 years of those meetings. And in those meetings, you're going to see what people are complaining about. And honestly, it's the best way to get a feel for who's living in the building, what's going on, and also how active the strata is in doing repairs or dealing with problematic situations. So that would be the number one thing that I would say is read those minutes and see what the people are like. Plus, you want to know who you're going to be living with, because you're definitely going to be living in close quarters, and you want to know if you like the people that are there. So number two, which kind of ties directly into it, is what is the management like? Who's managing it? Most condominiums have a strata company that handles all of their management, and some are actually self-managed, which have a benefit because some of the self-managed condos actually have lower fees because they're not having to pay and outsource the management to be done by a company. But there is some drawbacks to self-managed. Who's managing it? I mean, the self-managed generally live there, and so basically you want to check again who you're going to be living next to make sure that they're the type of people that should be making the important decisions. And same with the management company. Are they active? Are they doing the repairs that are needed? Or are they deferring them? So number three, storage. So you walk into a condo, maybe it's staged really well, and you think, oh, there's ample space. Well, let me tell you, with today's consumer society, there's never enough space for our stuff. So you want to make sure that there is definitely extra storage, whether or not it's in the unit itself, or if there's a storage locker downstairs, if you'd like to maybe ask to have a look at it, because a lot of the newer condominium complexes have very limited space. So you get just very small storage locker. Bike room, if you want to commute and you want to ride your bicycle, maybe there's bike room in the building. So check out if there is extra storage and where it is. Number four, insurance coverage. A lot of people don't check into insurance coverage. You want to see what kind of coverage the building has, and if it's an older building especially, you want to make sure that they've got proper coverage and what is actually being covered. The depreciation report, which I've actually talked about in the past, is a really important document. It tells you all the lifespan of everything to do with the building and how long it will last and how much it will cost to replace. So you want to make sure that the insurance coverage coincides with those costs. Number five, will you need to move in the next 5 years? So it's really not ever a good idea to get into a purchase unless you plan to stay longer than 5 years, because the first 5 years of any mortgage payment is mostly interest. So you're really not even tackling the principal portion of your purchase within the first 5 years anyway. With a condo, they don't appreciate as quickly as a single family home. So you definitely want to make sure that the one that you purchase, you plan to stay in, and that you're going to enjoy living there, so that you don't have to move after 5 years, finding out that maybe condo living isn't for you, or that you're not enjoying it as much as you thought you would. So number six, do you fully understand what the strata fees are? So I think that people are under the misconception of what strata fees are. So strata fees are a monthly fee that is based on how many units are in the building, what the square footage is. That determines the amount that you're going to pay and what's included in those fees. So it's really good to check on what you're actually getting for that monthly fee, because what it's meant for is to maintain the building and to also set aside a contingency so that they can handle any future repairs that are needed. Because obviously we all get a little bit older and we need a little bit of a nip and tuck here and there. So do buildings. So new roof, new electrical, depending on the age of the building. So typical rule of thumb actually is a percentage. I kind of go by a percentage based on how many units are in the building and the age of the building. So, somewhere between 10 and 20-year-old building, you're going to want 25 to 30% set aside for repairs, or 25 or if it's 50 plus or 25 plus in age, you're going to want 50%. So you just want to make sure, and you can get your guidance from your realtor to, check into the financial statements, make sure that there's enough money in there in case there is a big repair. Okay, so number 7, what are the rules? So there are rules, and this is one of the biggest things that I notice with people that buy into a condo, especially after coming from a house. They're not quite ready to live under any rules because they haven't really had to living in a house. So, are you allowed to have pets? If so, is there any restrictions on breed, on size, on how many pets you can have? Rentals, if for some reason something changes, you get a transfer with your job and you need to leave, can you rent out the unit? So you want to make sure that you can rent the unit. Age restrictions. Unfortunately, there are age restrictions in a lot of buildings, and they vary. So you can have, adult only building 19 plus, 45 plus, retirement only, 65 plus. So, in a lot of cases, they're very strict about that. And the whole purpose is, that you want to, I guess the purpose is that they want to have adults only so that they don't have children. And really, you wouldn't want to move into a building that is adult only with your child, because it would be pretty boring for your kid anyway to be not having any friends in the building. Barbecues. Are you allowed to have barbecues? Some people don't think about that. Maybe you barbecue all the time and you move into your condo and you can't have a gas barbecue. That has happened to me, and I have learned to like my Weber electric, but it's not the same. Smoking. Hopefully you don't smoke, but if you do, can you smoke in the building? A lot of buildings restrict smoking in any of the common areas or on your balconies, so no smoking. And then, of course, amenities, when can you use them? How much do they cost? So lots and lots and lots of rules. So check out the rules and make sure that you're happy with it. Number 8, any lawsuits. You would see on the title, actually, if there's any lawsuits that are registered. And, sometimes it's quite common in new construction that there are some litigations that are pending on title, just for things that need to be rectified during the construction period. So I don't want you to get too concerned if there are, but if there's lawsuits between some of the neighbors, against the builder developer, you want to check a little bit closer to make sure that those are not going to be problematic in the future. Number 9, which is actually my last point. Balconies, decks, and patios, super important. Do they belong to you? Are they your responsibility? There's a lot of townhouse complexes that have nice patios. Some of them have been cracked and badly handled or not surviving very well. Whose responsibility is it to replace? Fencing, anything exterior. Not all of the condominium and townhomes complexes handle things the same. You want to check into what's your responsibility and what is the Strata's responsibility. So hopefully you guys found these questions helpful. Maybe you already own a condo. Maybe you're thinking about buying one. And maybe some of these questions will help you if you're planning on buying, and maybe some of them you wish you would have asked when you did buy. So if you'd like a copy of this report, I've actually put it together. You can private message me, and if you have any questions about what's happening in today's condo market or the best areas to buy in, please send me a message for that too.